I'm so appreciative that Janet's back in Ohio and was kind enough to approach me about this legislation. Janet, you're on.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to Lynn and to these legislative heroes along either side of me. God bless you. God bless you. Because what is happening here today is that this is the spark that is going to a wildfire of pro-life protective legislation across the country. How do I know? Because we've done it before. When I was legislative director of Ohio Right to Life, and I use the name Folger not because I'm hyphenated, but I get more calls returned that way. Janet Folger Porter is the name. My organization that I represent is one I founded called Faith2Action. It's the nation's largest network of pro-family organizations online. But I'm here today to basically remind you what we have done already. Back when I was legislative director of Ohio Right to Life, and the old guys that were part of the team then, we actually led the way. We passed the nation's first ban on partial birth abortion. And the big argument that the courts are saying is that many are saying is that the courts might say no. Well, guess what? The courts said no in 1995. And when 30 states followed Ohio, the courts said no again. And when the legislature in Congress passed it 4 times, it was vetoed. The partial birth abortion ban was vetoed twice by President Clinton. It was signed twice by President Bush. It went up to the Supreme Court not once but twice. And finally, after saying no initially, 7 years later, the Supreme Court said yes. The way you get a yes is you ask for what you want. The way you find out what the judge is going to give you what you need is you pound on the door. And when Ohio led the way, and 30 states followed, and we saw Congress pass, and we said, we're not going away. We're not going to sit on our hands. I don't think we're called to sit on our hands until the court says something we're allowed to do. The legislators that you see here are heroic because they understand their role. As Thomas Jefferson said, their role is to protect human life. He said the care of human life and not its destruction is the first and only legitimate object of good government. Get government out of this issue? That's why government exists, to protect human life. And that heartbeat is a moment we're going to measure. I have someone I want to introduce you to, but before I do that, I just want to say, you see all the balloons. Just want to make note that every single balloon has a name attached. And if you think not only do we have nearly half the House of Representatives, enormous legislative support to get this bill through, but we have grassroots support. What you're seeing here is the tip of the iceberg. Today, we're going to deliver nearly 4,000 balloons. There's not even 400 in here. We're going to deliver 4,000. And the legislators, I hope, are going to feel the love and encouragement from your districts to know that we're standing with you. One of the things, you can always take them home to your wife, or Valentine's coming up, but we're going to recycle them. But I want to let you know, when we talk about historic, I know of what we speak. We have been here before, and right now, before we could even get this bill drafted, we got a call from Oklahoma. A legislator says, give us the bill, we need it right now. And what Lynn says is, no, we're going to do this right. We're going to make sure it's drafted right. We're going to make sure it's exactly what we want the courts to review, and we're going to protect children, because when this becomes law, this will be the most protective legislation in the nation. Not just the people in the state of Oklahoma, but Georgia, Texas, Kansas, I'm told, is looking at it. Arizona is asking about it. What happens here will affect the rest of the nation, and there's a very, very good reason why. We're going to restore protection of children. What Dr. Wilkie said will protect 95% of our children. Does that mean we don't care about the other ones? Absolutely not. But we're standing here like firefighters, and we may not be able to carry them all out in one trip just this time, but we're going to get as many as we can. That's what this bill does. I want to introduce to you Dr. Murnane. Dr. Murnane has been kind and gracious enough that you want to come on up here. What you're going to be seeing a preview of is what the legislators in Lynn Wachtmann's committee, what Representative Wachtmann is going to do as chairman of the committee, is allow people to give testimony